So I'm working on the front panel of the Datron 1062 LS101 when which had a really badly damaged front panel, or the trim was peeling off and stuff like that. So what I've actually done is I've peeled the trim completely off the front. There's the panel there, and I've cleaned a lot of the issues off it. It's been glued down and stuff like that. I'll try to flatten it out. It's kind of there. Now what I'm actually doing right now is I'm in the process of double-sided taping this back onto the frame. I'm not going to record the whole thing, I just thought I'd show you a little bit of where I'm at to right now. So I've basically cleaned it off and done what I need to do here, and I've lost some of the text because it's stuck onto the frame here. What I'm hoping is that maybe you'll be able to see it through, but I don't think that's going to be possible. So I'm probably going to have to put some other stickers over the front or something to repair these bits where it's been damaged. I managed to recover this one here, but that's about it. So this one's damaged, this one here is damaged, where it's delaminated off the front and it's still stuck on the front panel. There's not much I can do about it. That's a bit of a shame. But so this tape I'm using is actually for sticking down carpet, stuff like that. It's really strong tape, so it's never going to come off again. I'm currently in the process of putting the display, like the orange film that goes in the display, that's being stuck down right now, so I've got it weighted down a little bit with my merch. Whilst that's drying, I've got this bit of nail polish stuff to hold it into the frame, just so it doesn't move around. That's all it's going to be there for. And then I can stick this over the top. Now this is going to be tricky to do because I've got to get this lined up perfectly, otherwise it's going to be a disaster. So this is going to be tricky. It looks like these holes here for the posts are pretty much the datum lines, so if I can get those lined up, I've already put some marks on the end so I can see where the horizontal position's got to go. I think you better get within a few mil, a couple of mil probably at this end. But yeah, it's going to be tricky. We'll see how we go, because once it's down I can't lift it back up again. This stuff we're not allowed that. It's really super strong. But I'm not going to record that because I'm going to be concentrating on what I'm doing rather than worrying about what I'm recording. So anyway, I thought I'd show you what I'm doing. So this is double-sided tape, and I'm almost ready to put it down to there. Almost. I've just got to cut all these bits out, the windows and the buttons. Got to cut all those bits out, and I can peel off a little bit of tape. Probably just do one little piece along the edge, this bottom piece probably, because it's a narrow strip. I can use that to get it aligned. Once it's aligned, I can fold it back over, take the other strips off, put it back down again. That's the plan. We'll see how lucky I get. It may or may not work. I really hope it works. But even then, it's not going to be wonderful looking. It's going to be better, but it's not going to be great. It's going to be an improvement. It's a real shame that it's so damaged, really, but oh well. There's only so much I can do. At least I'll be secured back onto the front instead of hanging off. At least it'll be that much. I thought I'd just show you a bit of what I'm doing here. So I've already cut out a bunch of it, as you can see. So I've already cut around these ones. I've just got to kind of ease them all out and cut them as I pull them out in case there's any extra bits which need doing, because the adhesive being a bit of a pain. A lot of them are fine anyway, but sometimes I just need a bit of help. Especially the corners. And I've got these little offcuts which I'm just obviously just sticking together to one side. It's coming out anyway, it's working, it's doing the job. Now I've still got some unevenness over here where the panel has been damaged quite badly, and it's actually been, well, I think they glued it actually. I think it's all really rough, and I've got it flatter, but it's still not right yet. I'm not happy with it. So I'm actually thinking about maybe I need to heat it up and try and flatten it or something. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to wrinkle it, that's the only problem. Anyway, I haven't done these circles yet, or these switches, because they're going to be a bit of a pain. Anyway, the other ones are basically done. I'll come back once I'm finished. Right, now I've got to try and cut these out. I've already started this one, but this scalpel isn't actually that sharp. It's not doing a great job. So it's going to take a couple of goes to go over it. One. 5 more to go. Well, this is pretty much getting close to the moment of truth, so it's all cut out. I'm just trying to line it up, and I've got to try and get it so that the buttons will line up correctly on the frame over this side, and also right across and centered on these holes and these switches, and try not to see any of the metal frame from behind the cutouts. So getting that just right is really important. If I'm off a little bit on one end as I'm laying it down, it'll be, you know, off a lot more at the other end, so I have to try and get it probably tacked down a little bit each end. Maybe I'll do maybe peel 2 corners back and get those corners positioned, and then peel the strip off and then hopefully lay it down. Something like that. I can't really fold it too much either, so otherwise it will potentially damage it, so I'll try and keep that pretty flat too. Okay, so I'm going to peel this strip off, this narrow one here, just a little bit. I'll try and get that corner going. Once I'm sure that's lined up, I'll peel the rest of the strip off. Just get a little bit out there so I can grab it, like that. And I can just pull that out as I get it lined up. At least that's the plan. Maybe we'll record it. I'm already pretty much there, so I'm pretty sure that's just about there actually, just like that. So I'll stick that corner down. Need some tweezers to grab this one. Now, it's like that. Gives you some kind of alignment. Double check it all, get it in exactly the right place. You can see I've still got some movement left in it, so it just means I can tune it slightly. I think it should be basically along this edge, slightly up in the bottom edge of there. Okay, let's just do this one. Still got some flex in it, so I can still adjust it. Let's hold this down like that. And it just tore. Of course it did. Anyway, it's mostly down, so it's fine. This bit here, which isn't flat, so I'll get that to stick. It's getting better. Alright, so it gives me the alignment. I'm fairly happy with the alignment side. I think that's okay. And I'll just have to do the rest of that strip. Of course it bloody tore, didn't it? Of course it did. Alright. I hate fiddly things like this. It's only because I was tearing it kind of sideways at the same time. So that's obviously didn't like that particular technique. There we go, here's the end. Okay. There we go. That's down. Okay, that's that one strip, and that's aligned. So now I'll do the next strip and the next strip one at a time, and hopefully it stays aligned. This one's going to be a little bit tricky because of the holes cut in it. Might not want to cooperate, and sure enough it doesn't. This is where it's going to get really messy and screwed up. I'll stop recording, I'll carry on. I'll show you when I'm finished. Yay, success, it worked. It's stuck down, I didn't screw it up. At least I don't think I did. Yeah. So what I think I'll do now is clean up the front panel before I put it back on. Clean up all this old glue residue and stuff like that from the old stickers. I've already taken some of it off, but it still needs a lot more cleaning up. I'll get all that done now. It's got a nice rigid frame to be sitting on. And try and get it all looking nicer. Then I'll do a test fit and hopefully it actually does line up. If it doesn't quite line up, I suppose I might be making this hole bigger to make it line up. We'll see. Well, here's the front panel. It sits on top. At least it does that much. It does seem kind of lined up with those screw holes. Let's get the actual screws and put them back in again. This one had the proper ones. These little in-hex cap screws. Well, cap screws there. Countersunk screws, that's what I'm looking for. Countersunk. So get these lined up, then we'll check to see if the buttons all push properly. In case there's any issues there. I might have to trim a little bit off the fascia, because the fascia does actually have a bit of a overlap with the metal frame. So there could be some extra rubbing there going on. Make sure it's all tight so it's everything lined up. Okay. That's rubbing slightly, I think. Yeah, that is rubbing slightly on that frame there. I might give that a trim maybe. Mostly the end ones I'm worried about. That's looking okay. It is very slightly that way. Very slightly, but it's borderline. It's okay. The switches are usable. Obviously the postal worked. So that's good. I'm happy with that. That's certainly a lot better than it was when I got it. Which is always the intention, is to make it better. I've also got damage on the front here. I need to look at the wording on here. Maybe use some of my gold stickers. I've got that that gold label which I use on these things. Got the gold in there, so gold on black. So I might better use that to replace some of the damaging on here, to at least get those looking okay, I suppose. Won't be perfect, but it still looks a lot better. Happy with that part. Now just got to get the rest of it fixed. I feel like doing some mechanical work today, so yeah. I just noticed something. This chip here, which I've just lifted one end up, one of the legs are bent right over, as in it's not even in the socket. I'll pull this one out. Let's take the bolt, take it right out. Look at that, it's folded right over. That wouldn't help, would it? So let's fix this. What's this chip? So an SN74 LS76AN. I think I've probably got some of these anyway, so if it does break off I might be alright. Hope it doesn't break off. Let's try and bend it straight very carefully. I wonder if that will affect some problems on this thing. I just bent another pin in the process trying to straighten this one. I'm using long tweezers really, anyway. Should I straighten this one back up again? Let's get my other tweezers. So yeah, let's go try and get this all pinched up and straightened. Question is, was that like it before I worked on this thing or not? Because I did reseat some of these ICs. Well, I reseated all of them I think, all the digital board ones, so maybe it is me, maybe it wasn't, I really don't know. But, let's put it back in again. Okay, might check the rest of them in case anything else has gone like that, but that's the only one I've noticed. Just happened to see at the end of it, like I can see the leg curling around the end. Right, let's try powering it back up again in case it's changed something. Doesn't look any different. Zeroing on 5, 6 and 7. Yep, no different. Wasn't that. Well, I'm thinking about the point now where I should start recapping the power supply on this thing. So I haven't actually done that yet. I should have started with that, but I haven't got that because I wanted to do this and then I got to be carried away and trying other things, and because I spotted that. Anyway, so going to recap the power supply. I think I've already reset all the ICs. I'm pretty sure I already did that. Not 100%. And the only calibration work I've done so far is just that adjustment there, the L2. So I will recap the power supply, then I'll do some voltage measurements and see how things turn out. But with 5, 6 and 7 as the errors, that leads to the problem being on this board, and there was a sticker on here that said bad over here. I do believe there will be a problem on this board, just a case of what the problem is. And I haven't even lifted this board out yet. It could be soldering on the back or anything, could be some clues about what's going on. It could be a power supply problem, I really don't know yet. So I'm going to recap the power supply and yeah, we'll go from there. Right, let's get these two caps here out, which I also glued down. They weren't actually that hard to get out last time. Get some tweezers in here. Desolder from this side of the wall so I can reach it. There we go. Is that one half out? Was the same the other one as well when I made it? Those two. I might measure those before I go on and just see what they actually look like. Alright, let's have a look, see what we get. This one's actually not looking too bad. ESR. That one actually looks fine. This is plugged in properly. Yes, it is. That one actually looks fine. That's surprising. Okay. The other unit which I did these on, it was nowhere near as good. This one also looks fine. Yeah. So those caps were actually alright. But that's fine, I'm going to put new ones in. I always like to put new caps in, especially power supplies, because then at least you know they're done and you don't have to worry about it. I mean, is it going to fail in 2 years' time? Possibly. You know, could it fail in a year's time? Maybe. Right, but if you put new caps in, at least you know you're probably going to get 10 years out of it before you have to worry about it again. So which is why I just like to go in and change them anyway. Even though it's kind of a waste of time sometimes, like this case it's probably fine. So didn't really need to do it. So I was going to use some wick down there to clean these holes out. Never used to use wick, but I suppose over the years I've learned that hey, maybe sometimes it actually has a place and it's good for this sort of thing. I think basically I was just not being patient enough with it. You know, it takes a bit of time to get the solder to suck through. And I think I always just expected it to be faster and to work better than it always had done. Anyway. Wick does a good job when you know to use it. I suppose that's probably what I'm trying to say. And just to prove me wrong, I'm doing a really bad job of this. Yeah. And it hasn't worked in either of those. Just to be a pain. Of course not. Right. Let's clean this up. I think I need to get some more wick actually. I'm actually getting a bit low on this. So through. I think that's got those ones now. I might have to put flux on too if it's being too stubborn. Okay, I might have got it. I didn't bore you too much with that. Now, did these go through? Yep, that one's clear. That one's clear, excellent. We'll check the other two. That's going in, and that's going in. Yep, all clear. Great. So I'll plug those in, get those soldered in. I'm going to bore you with that. Right, so I've got those other capacitors fitted. Now I'm just taking this gold capacitor here out, which is a bit tricky, but not too bad. I've already got one leg off. As you can see, I've got the second one out. So what's that? 4700 16 volt. Let's see what it measures as. .4 dissipation. No, 0.1 dissipation. Big one. Okay, ESR is showing 0 as well. This one's actually looking okay. Curious. The last unit had really bad caps on the power supply. All of them were bad, or at least suspicious. This one's looking really good. At least I know they're done. Alright, so that gold cap replaced, and now I need to get in here and replace this last capacitor here, which is the 350 volt 10 microfarad. Right, let's try and get this thing out. There we go. That's that one. And positive faced which way? Which way did positive go? Upwards. Hold on. Oh no, positive was downwards. That's right. I pulled that one out. That came out nicely. That's the one that bent. So yeah, positive was downwards. Always remember the polarity. Super important. Alright, so I've got the holes cleared out using some solder braid. Let's get the part in. Paying attention to the polarity. And maybe the hole's not completely cleared out. Right, guess I'll do it. If I can get in there. Just touched on a bloody trimmer. That's not good, is it? Oh, come on, making a mess of this. Alright, so I've got the other capacitors all done, so that's all finished. Those are done, those are done. So that's those ones taken care of. The last cap I was pulled out, that 350 volt one, measured that seems okay as well. So that's like all the power supply caps are actually alright. I probably didn't really need to do them, but I like to do it as a matter of course. You know, yes, it's a waste of parts, yes, it's a bit of a waste of time. Sometimes it is quicker just to test them and just, it looks okay, but I prefer to just do them. Then at least I know for sure they're 100% they're okay. You know, I don't have to worry about it after that. I've got some other ones I have to do on here as well yet. So the next caps are going to be all the ones along this front edge here. Again, I'm just going to replace them. I'm going to check them. Well, I'll check them once I take them out, but I'm just going to replace them regardless because I know they do tend to fail. And I'm going to, I always treat capacitors as consumable items because they don't last forever, and they do need replacing. So I'm just going to replace all these as well. I've got all the parts here, so I'm just going to pull them out, replace them all. I won't bother recording or showing you that previously in the other repair of the other 1062 I've been working on. So I'll just pull those out. And once I've got those caps changed, then I'll try powering up again and see if anything's changed with the unit in case it fixes the problem. You never know. I doubt the power supply ones have changed anything because they all seem fine anyway. But yeah, these are likely to be bad. Right, I've got the connections off. I've got the thing loose. Just lift it out. So I'm going to record this in case I find anything horrible. Well, this has all been resoldered over here. That's interesting. It's not looking too bad though. But yeah, that's definitely been done over here. A few little resoldered points around the place. But it's not looking too bad. A bit of flux over here too. And then that capacitor. Right, well, let's get this thing on the bench properly and have a closer look at it. Okay, so here we go. Here's the board. And so there's that part which has been resoldered over here. See the flux residue which was like burnt there. There's some resoldering here. Sort of make a note of where all the points are which I can see being resoldered. A little bit just there, across here. There's a bit just up here. On that capacitor. Over here. Here, which would be those resistors I think. Yeah, there's other capacitors. So that's all fine. Relay, looks like it's been resoldered or maybe hand soldered. There's a bit just over here. A bit there. I think that's it. But that's a big clue here that someone's been working on this. It's definitely repair. This is like touch-ups. Maybe these are factory. That is a repair. Or a bodge. I'm not quite sure. It's a bit of a mess in there actually. Doesn't look that well soldered to be honest. So I mean, it looks a bit of a mess there, doesn't it? So, are the connections even intact? And this is where I think the board has got a problem. I think this board has got an issue on it. And is this damaged here? Or is it just dirty? Is that a break? There might be a break in the track there. Just there. Could it be dirt? No, it's okay. But yeah, the soldering, as you can see, is not very good in that area. So that's going to take a bit of closer inspection. And look on the other side what the actual part is. Let's get the right one. It's this one here, which is a LF411CH. Some kind of op amp I think that is. LF411CH. I don't have any of those. Let's have a close look at this side of the circuit board and see if I can see any damage. In case it's been lifted and pulled a trace or something. Can't see any damage. I mean, it's just, like, I can see badly soldered, but that's about it. Yeah, I think it's just badly soldered, so I might resolder that and clean that up again. But I'm suspicious about this part. that would be a big sign of a problem there. Anyway, I'll do that when I do the caps. Right, so I've resoldered it and cleaned up a bit, and it's not wonderful. It's got a lot of PCB damage there. I'm actually wondering if maybe it's had a problem where it's shorted out and overheated rather than someone working on it, but it's a bit hard to say. When I was doing the testing on it before, I didn't feel any hot spots on the board, so it could be shorted out. It's possible, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see how we go, but it's better than it was. That's all I can really say. Alright, let's get these caps out. I'll start with this end and work my way up. I think we've got those little beads on here which I have to be careful about. I also may need to put some fresh solder on. We'll see how we go with that though. Okay, that should be the 10s all out. There's done a bead here somewhere. I've dropped it. There it is. So those are 10s. These are 10s. These ones I want to put back in. Get these little beads on them. I'm not quite sure what the story is with these beads, but obviously got some kind of purpose. I just don't know what it is. And try and spin it so you can see the value. That. Next one. Same deal. Spin it so I can see the value. Now get the next two out. I won't show you the whole thing, you get the idea. Right, so that sort of capacitor's changed. Let's measure them and see what we actually get as far as values on these things, the old ones. So that's 0.9 dissipation, 27 microfarad. That's 1 kilohertz. And that's on a 47. Do the other 47. 1 dissipation, 21 microfarad. Big difference there. Let's do the 10 microfarad. 5 dissipation. Value is also way off. What's this one here? This is the other 10. Do a comparison. Other 10, 3 dissipation, 3.6 microfarad. Yeah, so all these caps are bad. This is 33, 26.5 dissipation. And 1 dissipation, 19. So yeah, all those caps, as expected, are bad. So this is why it's just worth going through and replacing them. Right, let's refit this board. And I'll power it back up again, see if anything's changed. I doubt it, but you never know. Something could be different. I'm suspicious about this op amp. I think it's an op amp anyway. I'll have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's an op amp. That's the thing I'm really concerned about right now, is that device. Also pretty sure you can't get them anymore. It may require some substitution in order to get that job done. Okay, I'm not going to clip these down, I'm just going to get them seated in. Alright. In case I take it back out again. Is that plugged in there? That plugged in there. So plugged in here. Now when I first got this unit, that plug was off by 1 pin, so that may have caused some damage. I mean, maybe that's what's caused this to go. I mean, don't know. Anyway, let's plug it back in and try it out. Definitely not out by 1 pin. Still looking good. Don't think I missed anything. Right. No difference so far. Sometimes no difference is actually a good thing, because it means it's not worse. Here are 5, here are 6, here are 7, no different. Okay. And calibration passed. Right. So it hasn't got any worse, so that's something I suppose. Unfortunately it hasn't fixed anything, which is a shame. But anyway, yeah, can't do everything. So I might power this up again actually to see if this gets hot. No, it's not heat at all. Was this one which is the problem? Yep, no heat anywhere. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure you get the idea, don't you? It's not exactly that complicated. I'm sure you can understand it. Well, that sounds a bit demeaning, doesn't it? That's not what I mean. Didn't mean like that. It's not that complicated. You can see what I'm doing. That's what I mean.